Welcome back to a somber video because, dude, I don't think anybody saw that coming yesterday. I did not see, I did not foresee a closure so quickly. The writing was on the wall for Metazoo, that, hey, things are going bad. But, I guess I still had faith in them delivering the product and, getting that stuff out, considering, they took pre-order money, they did all this and that. But it really, really sucks that they closed and the rumors are that they were being bought out by a company, and for whatever reason near the end the company pulled out, probably for financial and legal reasons, liability reasons, things like that, as others have mentioned. But dude, and you know what, like, the only thing I can say is when it comes to like a buyout, obviously companies cannot be talking about that. That all has to be hush hush and behind closed doors. But the way that this, I guess, happened, like, it's pretty damn apparent. It's pretty damn apparent that Hello Kitty was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, it seems, and honestly, it was very apparent that from the beginning of, I would say, like, since 2023, because it was such a dry year. Well, even like it was what, native, and that's all they got. That's all we got. The fact that they took what, like seven, no, yeah, whatever. It was like 7 months where they just put all of their resources, all of their eggs in this Hello Kitty collaboration, or not really collaboration because it was just a licensed product, you know, and then to not market it properly, to not, you know, here's the thing, like, if you're going to release a product that, Hello Kitty, it's Hello Kitty, and there's tons and tons of content creators that do Hello Kitty things. Why not reach out to them via TikTok, reach out to them via this, pay them to market your product? But then, of course, that goes back to the whole idea of they never had money to begin with, right? They put all their money into this product to try and get it out, to try and get a return. And according to other people, I believe Argo said that he has information that somebody mentioned that they were profitable. Granted, he did say that he wasn't sure how reliable that information was, but it's very apparent that that's what happened. So yeah, um, Hello Kitty killed the zoo, bro. Like, isn't that kind of funny? Well, I mean, it sucks, but um, the writing was on the wall, man. And I still had faith in them. I still thought that they could pull it out, and they could have if they weren't. I guess if they hadn't put all their eggs into one basket, they could have. If they would have focused on, golly, like, this is the problem with I think using pre-order money and and mixing it with probably everything. So this is just from the looks of it, a mishandling of money. Um, as a company, right? Right, and this is the way it should work, right? And we used to do this, and we're slowly getting, like, I work for a family owned company, like it's our family's company, right? And we used to do that. We used to basically have all the money in one pot, right? You'd have everything going through there. You'd have the bills going through there. You'd have payroll going through there. You'd have accounts receivables. Any payments from customers would go, get deposited in there, and that is very, very difficult to reliably keep doing over a long period of time, because as you have money coming in, you have expenses coming out, and it becomes a thing where eventually it just catches up to you real bad, and you have to kind of do a reset of sorts, which is what we're basically, we've slowly transitioned from that model over to having multiple bank accounts for multiple different things, right? So, number one, when you're an LLC, which is what we are, is you want to have a payroll system that that pays the owner and any officers of the company an actual, W-2 per se. Like you're actually, you know, paying taxes, they're paying taxes, and you got to pay yourself from that money, right? It can't be, and it gets kind of in the gray area where it's illegal to do because it's an LLC, and I'm assuming Mike was at some point a sole proprietor. Granted, he did sell a share to Aoki in that, which who knows how that even went down, and maybe that's the reason why Steve Aoki has just kind of dipped Metazoo altogether because of all these problems that they have. But the way it's supposed to work is you're supposed to pay yourself a salary, and you're not supposed to use the funds for your personal like purchases, your personal bills, things like that. You basically got to pay yourself, have a salary for each person, and stick to it. And you can't use your company like line of credit, your company, just in general for any sort of big purchases like vehicles, you know, equipment. I mean, you can buy equipment for it using your company, like your company EIN number, but definitely like company vehicles ends up becoming overhead for the company. And, even if it's like, they say you got Andy with Lambos and you got, Mike with the G-Wagon, which again, that's a tax write-off. But the problem is to the outside world, they're showing off, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of vehicles, and most people probably think like, oh, they bought that cash, and that's probably not what happened. They probably financed it. There's a chance they may have even used the company, like Metazoo Games LLC, as the company that leased it or bought it, and so yeah. So basically, the mishandling of funds, they may have just not had multiple. I mean, granted, like, and then you start thinking like Mike is supposed to be a businessman. If there was mishandling of funds, how did it get this bad? Like the man has like a master's in finance or something. Like he has a fancy university degree. How did he let it get this big? Like rule number one, and this is the thing. I've only taken a few business courses, and this is throughout high school and college. But like one of the biggest reasons that companies fell within the first 5 years, and guess what? Metazoo made it to year 4, is because they expanded too quickly and they took on too much debt and overhead. And when you have Metazoo's Kickstarter be a success, it was like what was like 20,000 that they raised to get the Kickstarter out, and then Krypton Nation 1 just kind of blew up, and people were wanting it, and they were sold out, and boxes were going for $1,000 and all sorts of crazy stuff back in like 2021. Like they probably were trying to take advantage of the situation, which what company wouldn't? But by trying to produce as much as possible, they took on so much overhead. They got like a warehouse in Vegas, like they got employees in Vegas. Then you got like the factory in China that produces the cards, shipping, cargo, all that stuff. You got the board members now, which I guess are no longer there. You got distributors. Basically, if they would have just grown slowly but surely, slowly and organically, whatever you want to say, would we have had all the crazy Metazoo stuff that, like, in hindsight, did they really need to send 10 cards into space? Like, what type of marketing did that do? Like, I as a regular consumer, like, it wasn't in national news like, oh, TCG company sends 10 cards to space to promote their new set. They weren't going to do that. So that was a gimmick. Like, oh, it was sent to space. And then, like, the little stamp of the UFO box, that too was sent to space, and that too is a gimmick. I mean, it's a cool gimmick for, like, the fans were just like, oh my God, it's been to space. But was it worth the financial cost? Like, would it have been better to just send those boxes to, like, conspiracy theories UFO and have them promote it, or like pay somebody? Like, honestly, the big thing for marketing now is like TikTok, YouTube, and probably TikTok is growing a lot more. TikTok, YouTube, like Spotify, like, it's no longer like television. It's no longer like, click on this ad on the internet. A lot of people have ad blockers. So really a lot of people get new products from the people they follow online, influencers, you might say. Would that not have been a better marketing, like, for the product, as opposed to sending it to space and spending God knows how much money to for UFO to do that? Or, Wilderness was cool because they partnered with like the Save the Tree Foundations or whatever, and so for every box of Wilderness they were supposed to plant a tree for the world. I don't know. That was a cool. I mean, that one was actually really cool. Like, not gimmick per se, but just like, oh hey, that's cool. And the boxes were recyclable after that. That was pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, besides Rudy on YouTube, and then they had like Pay Money Wubby that one time, like, there was no real push for marketing. How was the game supposed to grow besides, like, at least from what I've seen, like, how is it supposed to grow besides, people that are already into Magic being like, yo, check this game out. And then couple that with the fact that they were basically on a power trip for like all of 2022 and 2023, banning people left and right and thinking that they were above everybody else, all of their fans' criticisms and whatnot. And I get it, dude. It could probably be hella negative to just hear Metapoo this, Metapoo that, Metazoo sucks, Metazoo. And guess what, dude? The haters won. At the end of the day, they were right. Metazoo died. Metazoo is dead. Metazoo is now officially a rug pull. Metazoo is now officially a pump and dump scheme. To me, it was like, to me, it looked like a pyramid scheme. You take money from one product or from the people. Like, even the partner program was kind of crazy, where like they'd have partners pay up all this money ahead of time, and they had to order a certain amount of product, otherwise it wouldn't be considered a partner. And then you pay it all up front, and you wait like 6 months before the product gets to your hands. And then those people, those partners, are then in charge of like, hey guys, come buy it from me. Come buy this great product. It's going to change your life. Like, it's crazy. And like, the writing was there. I chose to believe in them. And I still have hope that one day we will get, a Metazoo revival. Will it be called a Metazoo? Will it be called something else? I don't know. But I really enjoyed the artwork of the cards. I really enjoyed their hollow foiling, how great it started getting, how much better it got as each set went by. I will say that they did put money back into the quality of the product, in my opinion. But whatever mismanagement they did, whether that was using company funds and putting everything in one pot, which I really don't think Mike would do, because he has a business degree, and like usually that type of stuff happens for like small businesses with people who don't have a lot of business experience. But dude, it took me by surprise. Like, it's one thing, and here's the thing. I've already sold my Kickstarter box at like, and like shout out to Easton from from the Metazoo, or I guess the old Metazoo Caster Society guys, because Easton, he traded me one of my Sorcery Alpha boxes for a Kickstarter, and I was hella excited, and he was really happy with the trade. And it was at the time when Easton was very negative about Metazoo in the Argos Discord, and he had a right to be, and I don't take that away from him. But he was right, dude. That game is fucking gone. It's dead, and they had no money. They couldn't pay the players. The only defense that I could think of as to why they were waiting to pay the players was because they were trying to get some sort of tax write-off, for whatever reason, right? But dude, shout out to Easton, man. He was there. He knew. And so that same Kickstarter box that I got, I have now since sold, and I will be shipping off later today. I'll probably be keeping some of the stuff that I really, really like Hero Quest stuff. I might just hold on to that. But at this point, dude, I would have kept everything if it wasn't for how the company went out. Like, they did a straight up like, deuces, we're out, we're gonna go on vacation for several weeks, company is officially closing down, blah blah blah. And people who had thousands of dollars worth of product were just left out to dry. And I feel for those people. I feel for the partners who have to go through all their credit card cash, credit card chargebacks. I feel for, even just like the small regular consumers who like, dude, I have like, I think $100 that for the streamer kit, $125 that was never fulfilled. And Like, I'm gonna try to see if I can charge that back. But there's people, and see, and that's the thing, you know, that was the last product that I pre-ordered with Metazoo, because after that, you started realizing like, oh, the set comes out, it loses like 30% value within the first week. Boxes get cheaper, and within 2 weeks, you can get double the amount of product with what you would have gotten had you pre-ordered and gotten it day one. And so that was kind of the start for me after the native Kickstarter, or native streamer kit, sorry. And the only other thing that I had pre-ordered per se was with Golden Distribution. I was going to be ordering quite a bit of Legacy, like at least a couple of cases and like, you know, a couple hundred blisters. And really it was just to open up, like just to have fun, open up, sell any duplicates, you know, things like that, and just have a really nice, fun time opening up Legacy for the channel. Thankfully, Golden doesn't charge me on my credit card when I pre-order stuff on there, so that's you know, that product, the Legacy, I don't have to worry about that. But there's partners like Argos and Immortal and a bunch of other partners and people who had to front all this money in pre-orders for Legacy that are just hanging out to dry, dude. And this all goes back again to the whole taking money from Peter to pay Paul. And it finally caught up to them after the 4th year. They grew too quickly. They expanded so quickly. They didn't take the precautions of cutting print runs right away. They went from 100,000 CN2, Cryptonation 2, to 100,000 to for Wilderness. And then from Wilderness to, what was it, Seance, it was like 50K. And then from Seance to Native, apparently it was 50K, but there's rumors that it was a lot less than that because a shipment got lost or whatever. But they just did not adjust in time. They thought the money was probably going to last a long time. They took advantage of the rabid fan base of, you know, us wanting new product and being excited for the product and pre-ordering the product, because, you know, back in the day, if you were not on the website, that thing would sell out like that. And it was at the time where like they were releasing all sorts of cool promo sets and like, you know, anniversary stuff, and it was a fun time. I will say that it was a fun time the first couple of years with Metazoo. It wasn't until 2022, 2023 that it just kind of went downhill slowly but surely. And I still love the product. I still love the cards. I still love the idea of Metazoo. But I don't know, like, I don't know. I just don't have the desire to, you know, support them, even if they, well, maybe, but like, I just, like, right now, like, don't get me wrong, like, if the card game died under better terms, like, if they fulfilled, you know, everybody's orders and they didn't leave people out to dry, you know, if they're just like, hey guys, like, you know, we fulfilled this last set, you know, unfortunately we can no longer continue producing, you know, sets and whatever, so we appreciate, like, that's one thing. And at that point, I'd be like, man, that sucks, you know, I love the card game, I love this, and like, at that point, I wouldn't have a problem, like, keeping my stuff supporting. But now it's just like, I look at my stuff, like, I look at my little bookshelf up there, and that's where my Kickstarter box was, up there, and my other, you know, my slabs and some of the boxes I have in acrylic boxes and stuff like that. I look at that now and I just get like a sour taste in my mouth. And it's not because, you know, it's not like, oh, it failed, it's losing money or whatever. And yeah, that's a factor. Like, thankfully I managed to sell my Kickstarter box pretty quickly yesterday. And it may go down, it may go up again down the road. People are panic selling right now. But it just left a really, really sour taste in my mouth. Like, like, I was at work, and then we got that message, and I just could not, it was already like, what was like 2:40, 2:30, whatever. I was here doing work, and I got that message, and dude, it just bummed me out the rest of the day. Because it has been such a huge part of my life and many other of you guys' life over the last 4 years. And to see the way it went down, to see the way that they scrubbed all their social media, to see that, you know, they deleted all the Discord channels or the announcement channels, and and this is the shady part, after people started just in mass doing chargebacks against the company, which rightfully so, dude. They took hundreds if not thousands of dollars from people. They're gonna charge you back. So whether Mike was supposed to do that announcement or not, regardless, like that just the way they stringed us along sucks. It sucks to see that the and like again, it was probably because somebody pulled out last minute. And I mean, what company in their right mind would buy up all that debt knowing that if they file for bankruptcy, they can come back, buy it with a fresh, clean slate, and go from there. And if that happens, I might, I don't know. If that happens, if down the road they do have a buyer after, because they're gonna have to file for bankruptcy. There's no freaking way that they do not file for bankruptcy. The amount of debt that they have, the amount of money that they owe to people for chargebacks, the product that they owe to people, players, it's gonna get hectic. And the only way to do anything at this point with Metazoo will be to file for bankruptcy and possibly get it sold for pennies on the dollar to a competent company, hopefully, and seeing what happens with the Metazoo IP. They might retain Mike because he is the brainchild of it all to keep writing the story. They might just put it away in a shelf for the future with their own plans with it. Who knows, man? But it really sucks the way that they went through with all this, the way they did their fans dirty, the way that it's just so sad. Just very, very sad. Very disappointing. Like, golly, dude. Like, it's really, really sad, y'all. And, people are selling. I will say this. Like, and this is because this video is already over 20 minutes long. I will say this. In terms of the secondary market, Kickstarter boxes have dropped about 40 to 50% in value. Crypto Nation 1 boxes, they've dropped about 40 to 50%. People are still buying them on eBay for like 130, 140, 130 to 140 based on, auctions going on. So it's not zero. There are people buying. There's people buying on Facebook groups like 10% of the value. Good luck with that. It might get there one day, but I don't think it will be there today. So the value is, there's still some value to some of this. And I was very surprised how much people were buying after this announcement. That's one thing that, it shocked me because people would always say nobody wants to buy Metazoo, nobody wants to buy it, it's trash, it's dead. And now it is officially dead. But after it officially died, the surge in people purchasing Metazoo on eBay, Facebook groups, Discord groups, I mean, it just skyrocketed. People were offering, obviously, like not, obviously not market value, but people were purchasing stuff left and right. Booster boxes, cases of boxes, Kickstarter booster boxes, So that leads me to believe that there is still a demand from players, well, probably collectors now only. There is still a demand for people to complete their sets, to get certain cards that they just really, really enjoyed. So that's, I guess, a good silver lining, that there's still a very, very, very passionate community behind Metazoo. And as for me, this was mainly a Metazoo channel from very early on. I fell in love with the game. I fell in love with just all the cards and all the product. And, so now for me, it's like, what do I do with the channel now? I mean, thankfully, I still got, I have gotten into Nom Nom Verse, and that's a very, very promising game from what I've seen. Very beautiful artwork on the cards. I obviously got Victor Larson as one of the artists that, made this company. And the artwork is beautiful. So that's, that's still something that I genuinely enjoy and follow. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the next big card game is. Sorcery's doing well. I might get into that. I still have some Flesh and Blood stuff. Like I got all the Rudy promos now from Flesh and Blood. But we'll follow along, man. We'll see where the collectible world takes us, and we'll go from there. It's a very bittersweet time for me, I should say, where I just really, really, it was sad, man. And I know everybody else is sad, angry, disappointed, and everybody is valid for doing so. It sucks that they did what they did. Sucks that they did not fulfill the orders that were still out there. And I hope that everybody manages to do chargebacks and get their money back some way, somehow. And, yeah, man, it's just very sketchy, very just sickening the way things went down at the end. It almost feels like they just gave up, and rather than sorry, and I'll end it with this now. And I think the worst part is seeing that Metazoo Mike and Andy and all these people, they kept showing off what they purchased and what they Mike went on literally like a couple hours before Mike posted that announcement on Metazoo. He posted on Instagram saying he was going to be away from social media for several weeks because I guess he was going on vacation somewhere. And so like people see that, and it's like, okay, great, you're going to go on vacation, you're going to shut off your phone or whatever, your notifications, as everybody who supported your game and everybody who had orders for your game are out here just flailing about trying to get their money back, and that's what really left a bad taste in my mouth. It's just the way they did not properly address it as a company, the way they didn't try to, I don't know, just very, very disappointed and sad times, man. And hope you guys have a wonderful day. Sorry for all the bad news that's come out over the last couple of days. I hope you guys still enjoy your Metazoo stuff. I still enjoy it, but again, after everything that went down, I just have such negative feelings associated with it right now. I'm hoping down the road somebody does buy them and we can someday see a new and improved Metazoo game, maybe under a different name, but similar art style. I look forward to that. But appreciate you guys for all these years of support. I think I've been on YouTube now for like, 2 years, 3 years, something like that. And so I appreciate everything. I hope you guys stay with me to follow the next steps in the channel and seeing what other card games we follow and things like that. But that'll do it, man. Appreciate you guys again. I will see you guys in the next one, and I apologize for the really long video. So, thanks.